Hey guys, this is Dana, and this is episode number 59 of the Ask a Question show, the show in which you ask a question about any type of narcissistic or otherwise abusive or toxic relationship or situation, and I, along with the rest of the community here, will do our very best to help answer it. Our goal is to give you the feedback and the support that you need so that you can move forward in getting all of the clarity, closure, and healing possible. And today's question comes from Anonymous, and Anonymous asks, Dear Dana, I was involved with a man who would fake cry for pity and then seconds later be angry and then beating me. I'm very disgusted to know I cared and loved for such an evil being. He was so manipulative with no heart and no remorse. He would take his half-truth to rip me apart and then accuse me of lying. He was constantly suspicious of what I was doing when he was the one that was doing wrong. The magic words he used to keep me trapped were, I love you. And yet he had no clue what love even is. He thought of me as an object to toss around when he felt like it. So I realize now that he's not going to change, and I'm in the middle of divorcing him because I realize that things are just going to get worse. I can't handle his constant accusations and his rage over little things. Can you please advise me on how to trust again? I just don't even know how to begin trusting men again. I just feel so hurt and betrayed. Thanks. Okay, great question. And how you go about trusting men again is, I think, to reframe your understanding a little bit about what happened. See, I see this in a lot of people, and I fell into this too. See, the problem here isn't that it's not with men, okay? Even though the problematic person in your life was your husband or is your husband, it's a personality type, okay? It's this kind of toxic people in general. And so I see a lot of people that will tell themselves, well, boy, I'm never going to trust men again. Or, boy, I'm never going to get involved with an Italian guy again, or a younger man, or an older woman, or a lawyer, or, an Irish woman, or somebody that has a lot of money, or somebody that has no money. Do you see what I'm saying? I hear this a lot where it's just kind of tacking on this additional qualifier. But the reality is, it's not men that are the problem. It's not Irish women that are the problem. It's not Italian men that are the problem. It's not age or nationality or gender or any of that. The problem is the problematic behavior, the problematic personality of these problematic people, right? So it's important to learn the right lessons because problematic people can and often do surface in many different facets of a person's life. They can come across as a coworker or a friend or a neighbor or somebody that you volunteer with or a member of your church. So it's important that you're able to see problematic behavior for what it is in different areas of your life. And so how do you go about trusting again? You go about trusting by first learning the right lesson, right? That keeping problematic people, spotting problematic behavior for what it is. And then the second part of that is learning to trust again. But learning to trust again isn't so much about trusting other people, it's learning to trust yourself and learning to trust your judgment. And so once you have that confidence that you are able to spot problematic behavior for what it is, that you're able to kind of be in the moment, that you're in a situation, that you're dealing with what is, not what you hope will be. Okay, that's a big thing. So not getting caught up in that whole cognitive dissonance, which I'll link to that video, but you're not getting caught up in justifying or minimizing or denying or blaming or somehow excusing this other person's behavior, that you're seeing it for what it is, and then you're acting accordingly and you're acting appropriately. That you've developed good boundaries. And so there's two parts really to having good there's like four parts. We'll say there's four parts to having good boundaries. Okay, so the first part is awareness of that it's healthy to have boundaries. Okay, and sort of kind of examining where are your boundaries currently and then where do they need to be. And then the second part is realizing that part of having boundaries is to assert them. So to kind of let other people know kind of where you stand with things. And then the third part is actually enforcing that boundary. So having actions that you're taking. So if somebody does cross that boundary, then you have an action, kind of a consequence, right? So if a person does lie to you, or if they do cheat on you, then you have some sort of appropriate action that you're taking. Okay, because now they violated the boundary. Now you need to have that your appropriate reaction to that, which is generally going to be to distance yourself emotionally and or physically from that person, because they've violated your boundary. And then the fourth part to that is to be able to continue to like enforce the boundary, because most people will continue to push boundaries. And so again, to kind of just enforce it and say, nope, I said that this is not okay, this is not okay. And then of course, enforcing it sometimes means actually walking away and cutting off a friendship, cutting off a relationship, and doing what you need to do in order to stay safe, sane, and happy. Once you have a really good grip on your boundaries and you realize that you're able to spot problematic behavior, that you're able to have the solid boundaries in order to take appropriate action, you're not even going to sweat it. Okay, so there might be, and there probably will be, other manipulative people that come into your life because they're out there. There's just lots of them out there. If they come into your life, you're not even going to give it a second thought. They might be, and you might even go out on a few dates with somebody that's highly manipulative, but you're going to be able to spot it soon enough. And you're going to know that as soon as you start feeling those feelings of kind of questioning, is it me or is it him? If you start feeling those feelings of confusion of, is this squirrely behavior or is it not? Those are all warning signs for you to take a step back and to really examine what's going on and to make sure that you're dealing with what is, not what you hope will be. So again, being able to spot that behavior, being able to trust yourself to be able and to be able to handle it accordingly, but also to know, to have your own empty buckets filled, and I'll link to that video too, to where you're not clinging to another person. So if you are going out and you're dating again, if you're dating somebody and they have squirrely behavior, that you're okay with walking away because you have this attitude of abundance, like, that there's plenty of fish in the sea, that you don't need this one person to make you okay. This new person that you're dating is not your only shot at love, right? So if they start acting in a way that's not okay with you, that you're okay with just walking away. And a lot of learning to trust again, learning to have good boundaries, it does take some time. And the good news is you'll be able to practice this every single day, because you can practice it with your kids and with your friends and with your coworkers and in kind of you name it. And you're just going to keep getting better and better. And a lot of it too has to do with just paying attention to how you feel. And so a great way to tell if you've had a boundary that's been violated is to pay attention to the way that you feel. If you're feeling frustrated or angry or upset, or you're upset with another person, then that's a great sign that there has been a boundary violated and that you've got to now take action to improve that. So I hope that helps. I'll be really curious to see what everybody else has to say. And as always, lots of love to you guys. You're not alone. You're not crazy, and you really can heal from this. So take care, and I will talk to you soon. Okay, bye.